If you don't believe in Hinduism, you're going to be reincarnated or sent to an astral plane with nothing. Or if you don't believe in Islam, you're going to their version of hell. It would make sense, but there's no justification to believe any of them.
So
They're
what
all
the
claims.
argument,
People
right?
have
So what the
faith.
argument?
People
No, the
have faith
argument that I'm
for
hearing,
other
the argument,
things like coming like as far as America goes. There's faith into other things like that's not religious. There's faith into the laws that were put in place where a black man was three-fifths of a man, and people actually felt like they were convinced and they really believed that their race made them a superior race. The white man made that a thing, is that they really had faith that they were
mhm.
superior to minorities.
But you're comparing people to God.
Faith can be
That's
used in any you can have faith for anything is what I'm saying.
all right. The
But does
question
that
you
make it true?
background,
Does that
the
make it
question
true?
in your background is what we're trying to figure out about God, though, right? We're not talking about people, and that's the whole difference between God. Is that God?
Your point is trying to say that faith is a reliable way to determine whether something's true or not. I'm saying that
No,
it
I'm saying
it's
faith.
not at all, and it's literally the opposite. It's probably the what you stay away from. You don't just go by faith, because if
How would you
all you
know?
have is faith, all
How
you
would
have
you
is
know if
faith.
you've never had it, though?
What faith?
Yeah,
He did. He said he did.
I did. Yeah, I did.
So did I.
you didn't. If you're telling me that that's how you guys seeked it out, that's what I'm saying. If you read the Bible, he has instructions of what it is that you should like the being obedient, right? That's one thing about it. If
Are
you
you
don't have
trying to
faith,
tell me? You trying to tell me how I was believing, or what type of, you know, how how
ba-
I how
based
I
off
had
of what you're telling me, yes, which is why I asked.
you
So
weren't there.
essentially, the argument is we did it wrong. We did
We
our
did it
faith
wrong.
wrong. We didn't have blind obedience because we asked questions. We did it wrong.
It's crazy.
Can I ask you something?
You can.
Is there anything besides your religious beliefs, besides your faith-based beliefs,
Hmm.
that you believe with no extra evidence?
As in what?
All right, here's a good example. If I were to tell you there's a backpack in New York City, would you
Hmm.
believe it?
If you tell me there was a backpack in New York City,
Yeah, just simple as that. There's a
yeah,
backpack somewhere in New York City.
yeah.
Okay. Now, if
But
I
you
were
know
to
what I
tell
would do?
you,
But you know what I
oh,
would do?
it's a two-parter, please. I have to, because I get mumbled up in my words. If I were to tell you there's a backpack in New York City
Hmm.
on the back of a 9 foot tall man
Hmm.
running at the speed of light,
Hmm.
would you believe me?
I go seeking for myself.
You would look into it, right? You wouldn't believe it on just the word of me.
I wouldn't doubt it, but I wouldn't believe it either. I'd check it for myself. I wouldn't believe nor deny until I saw it
You
for
you
myself.
wouldn't you wouldn't doubt that a 9 foot man running the speed of light has a backpack on in New
It's
York City.
interesting that you say that though. Let me can I alliterate on that? When
The
you talk
speed
about
of light.
when you talk about the whole nine feet. Well, yeah,
The
because you know the
speed
speed of,
of light.
you know why? Because the speed of light existed and then also a giant did exist. Right or wrong?
Giant. No one has ever existed to be 9 foot tall,
They
ever.
have. Let me ask you
The
this.
speed of light
Ex-
existed and
explain me.
giants existed.
Yeah,
So a man wearing a backpack
could be
in New
possible.
York City running the speed of light,
It could
running,
be possible.
not just the speed of light, just being out there, just hey, speed of light. No, he's running the speed of light, bro. Gone for real.
But we're talking, right? We're talking quote unquote, like your friend put up. Now, let me ask you this. Tell me, where did pyramids come from? What's y'all's take on that?
The Egyptians just threw people at it until they were built.
No, honestly, where do y'all think the pyramids came from? Because
That was
us,
my honest answer. The
okay.
Egyptians threw hundreds of thousands of people at giant rocks until they were built.
Are you serious? You really believe that?
Yeah, there's no
You know,
other evidence to suggest otherwise.
well, you know, there's not pyramids just in Egypt, right? There's pyramids all over
Oh, I
that
know.
are built the
I
exact
want
same,
to know. I
right?
really want to know what the point is of that for
Okay.
asking.
Well, the point is, this is my point. There's pyramids built all over, right? Not just Egypt, all over the world, right? That are built beyond what man can make today. We can't even replicate it, us as humans by ourselves, right? Without the tools, without all this 2023, like you say, stuff. But back
You
in the day, these things were built. Now, my point goes
You
to
don't
this.
think we can replicate any pyramids that were built?
Not the way that they did it back in the day, without the tools, without the resources. Do you know how much
but
one of
they
those stones
use
itself
tools.
weighed?
They
Yeah,
use
yeah.
tools.
Do you know how much one of
I don't
those
think we're.
weighed?
I don't think.
Roughly 2 tons per.
So you tell me how man themselves can lift that with the tools that we had way back in the day. Answer me
They
that.
use sledding systems to get
I.
things there. They
I
use
don't.
ropes and pulleys, which can drastically increase the
Okay.
amount of
Okay.
weight you can
Say,
carry.
say you are correct. Say you are correct.
There are material. There are material that exist that get hard over time.
Hmm.
So the weight of whatever it started as could possibly have changed through time, through the just sitting in the sun or whatever it might be. So you saying it's 2,000 or a ton or whatever now, 2,000 pounds now.
Correct.
What I'm saying, when they were actually building it, human beings actually building it,
Hmm.
it could have weighed a lesser weight. So I personally don't even care to wonder how they did it. I mean, if I because I don't want to recreate it. I really have no point in doing that. But I mean, if you want to recreate it, then sure, look into that. But I don't think it's out of our realm to do that. I don't think we can. I don't think it's impossible to do that in 2023. We can recreate. We
In
literally have
2023,
electric cars out here. Like we
right?
out here. We got
But
phones. We talking through phones right now. We on TikTok right now.
right. So let me ask you this. This is my point: is that if they have pyramids all over the world, maybe one group of people did figure it out. Maybe you're correct, right? They did. We had physics, right? We went ahead and did the whole slaying thing or whatever you're talking about, right? You tell me how people all over the world end up building pyramids just as big, just as accurate, just as the same. Back in the
The
day
ones in South
with
America
the
are not as big
They're
as the
tools
not
ones
the
in
that they
Egypt.
had,
same. They're
The
not
ones
all
in
the
South
same.
America are not as
the
big
tools
as
that
the ones in Egypt. The ones in
there's
South
ones in
America are,
Mexico. There's ones
yeah, South America. It's very much smaller than the ones in
They're
Egypt.
way
And
smaller. They're all different though. Even the ones that are in the same area, they're different. You know what I'm
And
saying?
the
Some are
reason they
bigger,
okay.
did
some
So
are smaller.
pyramids, because they were good at
mhm,
mathematics and they knew, hey, if we position them in this certain way, they won't fall over. They tried other
mhm.
forms of statues back then and they all are gone now. But the ones that they mathematically figured out are still there.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. What is the point though?
So
What is the point of?
because this is my point. If you do your research, really do your research, and you'll see that us as humans, we can't replicate that. They've never replicated the pyramid
Okay,
since then.
okay, great.
So
We
it
can't
gets back to
replicate it.
this.
Well, we can't replicate
It
it.
gets back
What's your
to
point?
this. But
What's your,
biblically, even in other religions, they all talk about giants. Every religion mostly talk about giants existed. Giants were the ones that helped build the pyramids. Giants were the ones that lifted these big old stones for humankind. You look at the patterns inside the pyramids. They all tell a story about gods, about uh ancient people, about giants, about humans. It's all there written on the wall that we as humans did not do. Now it goes back to the
you
biblical
saying
story.
you saying is giants.
It is.
Um.
Now, if you look at the book of Enoch, right? We talk about the Bible, but the Bible has
Oh,
pieces of that's
okay.
missing.
Can we talk about anything other than a book? Can we talk about like archaeology? Can we talk about that?
Yeah, you want to talk about archaeology?
Where is the giants
Okay.
for the where is the giants in archaeology? Like, can
Okay.
we
Well,
point that out?
it's yes, I'm trying to get to it. If you look at it from a biblical standpoint, right? For what I'm
No,
talking
no
about.
biblical outside of the biblical standpoint because we've realized that the Bible is a fictional fairy
But
tale
it's not. Y'all
story.
think you
It
think it
is.
is, but
See,
you're
It
building.
is.
hold on. Here's the difference. If it wasn't what he describes as, it is a mythology, the same way Greek mythology, Egyptian mythology,
Mm.
If it was true, then we would be able to scientifically determine that. There
No,
wouldn't be
we
a way
wouldn't.
around it.
No, no. And if you want to talk about facts and science, that's my whole point. If you look into your history, there is histories of giants existing. There is skeletal remains of giants existing. There's pictures of giants existing. Giants are offsprings. This is what I'm talking about. You have to understand the book of Enoch to understand the Bible, but y'all are just like cutting me off. So let me, as somebody that believes,
Who
let
wrote the
me
book of
explain.
Enoch?
Enoch. Enoch wrote the book of Enoch. Listen, so the book of
Who is
Enoch,
that? I don't know who that is.
I'm trying to explain it to you if you would let me talk. I've heard y'all's
But
argument
we're trying to
over and
connect it
over.
back to God. That's what
I
I'm trying to say.
am. I am, if you would let me speak. Just listen. For 2 minutes, instead of you listen to argue with me, listen to understand. That's all I'm asking. The book of Enoch is a book that is missing from the Bible. The book of Enoch explains that the fallen angels, right, when God cast the angels down to earth, they ended up breeding with humans, which ended up breeding the giants, which is why God sent the whole flood in the first place to Noah, right? That's our whole
Oh
argument as
God.
Christians. So the Nephilims is what they call them, right? The giants, the fallen angels, are the ones that taught humans how to make weapons, how to read archaeology, how all this came about, right? We're as humans aren't supposed to know that. We're not supposed to even be practicing it, but the
So
fallen
so
angels taught
didn't
it.
so didn't God wipe everybody out according to the
Keep
Bible?
everybody on Earth out. Now here's your history again. If you look into it,
So
there's actually
let me ask
caves
you this,
in.
just
Go
because
ahead.
I'm trying to understand you from a biblical standpoint, right?
Mhm.
Um, if the Nephilim and the fallen angels interacted
Mhm.
with the people of that time,
Mhm.
God seen that, He witnessed it, and He said, "You know what? We're just gonna drown everybody." He decided to drown everybody except for Noah's
Mhm.
family because Noah's family was, I guess, more righteous or just deserved to live. I'm not sure. And the animals, of course, in the boat. I'm saying if if the Nephilim and the fallen angels were teaching everybody all that shit, you know what I'm saying, and God wiped everybody out,
Mhm.
wouldn't that be starting over? Wouldn't that whatever you talking about have nothing to do with anything we talking about? Because like he wiped everybody out.
He wiped everybody on earth.
Yes.
Everybody on the earth, right? Everybody on the actually never said
Yes.
anything about people in the earth. He never said anything about people in the pyramids. Now, don't look at me crazy because you do your history. Look at your history. And you guys, everybody Google this if you want. There were actually caves built in the earth that had people that dwelled in it for years. That part of it is something that we don't know about. It's not talked about, not in the Bibles, but it is talked about in history. So if you don't believe me,
But
believe
if
history.
they flooded,
So
if
so
Now
so
flooded,
it's
so so
water
what you're
goes
saying? So what
down.
you're saying is this is what you're
it did
saying.
flood.
God killed everybody, but there were people who escaped God's punishment and was under the earth or in the earth.
Yeah, which directly contradicts the biblical story of only the 8 people on the ark surviving.
On the earth.
It
That's just,
nowhere in the Bible does it say anything about people living under the earth.
but it does in your history books. Do you believe your
History,
history books?
hold on. We're conflating
But we're not, though. It's all tied together.
biblical
Oh,
mythology with science, with archaeological evidence that is not mentioned in the supposed all-knowing writings of the Bible.
mm-mm.
Why do we pick one thing out the Bible and then one thing out the science book? Like, and we can't keep both books in the same conversation because one has a date of like a few thousands of years of things, starting and everything creation and whatnot. God created it in 7 days, and seven a day to God is 1,000 years. All this type shit, right? And then
Mm.
another book is saying that if you count the rings on a tree, you can see how much the tree, how many years the tree has been around, to due to like the carbon dating or whatever. What I'm saying is one tree is older than what the Bible is saying the earth is. So we can't pick and choose what we are taking out of what. So it just doesn't make sense to me how you're saying what one you're creating a whole new religion because you're saying that there were other people who survived the flood, which the Bible don't speak about, except for those 8 people in Noah's family. And now you trying to, say, oh well, in your history books it says that people was in the earth. Like, I'm just trying to understand what denomination you are, really honestly. Like,
I'm Christian.
which denomination is this? Is this like a new like understanding or like
Are you non-denominational?
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, no. I'm not. I'm Baptist actually, but when you look
Baptist.
at it as a whole, that's my thing. Everybody's looking at it separately, right? Y'all trying to separate the two. Everything is tied into each other, you guys. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. Now, you say y'all okay, you talk about me picking and choosing. I feel like y'all are doing the same thing. Because okay, let's get out of religion for a second. People tell you that they've been to the moon, right? I've been to the moon. I've
Oh
been to the
no.
moon, right? Do y'all really believe people have been to the moon?
Yes,
Okay, why?
because I could right now go to an observatory, point one of their lasers to the moon, and a retroreflective panel will fling it back. I can do that
Okay,
tomorrow.
but do you believe that somebody has been to the moon? That man
It's
walked on
the
the moon?
only way it could have gotten there.
Do you believe that he did though?
Yes, 100%. It's the
Why?
only
They told
way it could have gotten there.
because they told you.
Because I can do the test myself. I can go to an observatory, take their
Hmm.
laser that they have that I can see with my own 2 eyes, and point it at the retroreflective panel at the exact point of where it's going to be reflecting back to Earth, and it will shoot back.
wait, atheist, wait. So you're saying that you don't have faith in the moon?
No, I don't have faith in the moon.
You don't have
So
faith that we landed on the moon and we put all that stuff up there?
No, I have evidence.
Interesting. Okay, now let's try you, right? Where is this God at?
he's wherever you seek him at. Now let me tell you. Okay, let me give y'all my reason of
You just
why
saying
I
that.
believe.
I mean, you just saying you just believe that. You don't have no like. That's just what the book
I've heard
says?
him. He's spoken. No, no,
What he
because he's
sound like?
spoken to me
What does he
personally.
sound like?
He's spoken to me personally. A
What
deep
does he
voice.
sound like?
Listen, I'm trying to tell you.
Like, is it like
A deep
Morgan
voice, just like us.
Freeman or like how does he sound? Like a deep voice? Is it like this or like is it really distinct? Like like Morgan Freeman, I think is the best actor to Does it sound like Morgan Freeman? Like, what does it sound like?
Well, I
It's a
could
deep
clearly
voice.
see that you're not. I know you're like your whole point. Like you're not really asking to understand. You're asking to respond back or to be funny. Like I get your point,
Yeah, no, honestly,
but
like
my
it's
thing is like
funny because
if you
the questions are they're structured in a way to trap you into a logical, you know, just a bluff. Like it's crazy because I've talked to so many people who say that
so
they've heard from
so if
God.
I'm telling you,
Your version is different from the last person. Like literally people ago, somebody else said that God sounded like water. Now you're telling me God sounds like a
and it's listen,
voice. I've heard different things. People have also told me God sounds like a guitar chord. I've even heard a piano note. People say God sounds like piano.
People have told me that God sounds like a woman, and
okay.
because they were Spanish, God spoke in Spanish.
So let me ask you this: what does God sound like to you? You don't know because you've never
We,
heard him.
w-
That's why.
yeah,
Why haven't you heard them? Because you've never seen them. Why have you never seen them? because you want to do things your way and not the way that it's told.
Let me ask
God
you
doesn't
this.
have.
So,
Mhm.
so is it possible that God only exists in your imagination?
No,
And why is that? Why is it not possible?
because I'm very logical. Okay, I'm a very logical human being. I'm not crazy. I don't do drugs. I don't do any of that.
You don't
So
have
for
to do
you
drugs. You don't
to
have to be. You don't have to
Wait,
be
wait,
illogical
you
to
better,
have an
but
imagination.
Miss. This is the last question I'll
but
ask, then I'll mute. What shape is the Earth?
the Earth is flat. That's
I'm
number one.
done.
Hey, nice talking to you.
Dude.
You
Oh my
really just did
God.
that though. Like, how did you? How did you know that? How did you know that?
The second she said, I'm very logical, that was my next question.
OMG.
I can't, I can't. I was trying to be nice. I was really trying to be nice.
Hey, atheist, let me solo, bro. I appreciate you
All right,
coming.
man. Yo, dude, ask that question every time a new guest comes in.
Hey,
I'll talk to
hey,
you
hey,
later, man.
send him some coins though. Can we send out? Nah, no.
No, don't send me coins. I'd
Damn,
rather you follow. I'm trying to get 2,000. Send follows. I'm cool with that.
my fucking shit just fucked up. All right, bro. Let me
All
get you
right,
off.
man. I'll talk to you.
All right. Hard